This is going to be an updated Plunder Patrol video covering both a budget and a non-budget build of how to play Plunder Patrol in the February 2022 format. The main change to the list is the addition of Black Eyes, the Plunder Patrol C Guide. It adds more recursion and recovery, as well as extension to our plays, and helps ensure that we're able to get a Plunder Patrol name in hand for our combos. So starting off, we're going to play 3 copies of Whitebeard, 3 copies of Golden Hair, 3 copies of Redbeard, 3 copies of Black Eyes, and 3 copies of Bluebeard. It's pretty simple. Play all the monster names at 3. Whitebeard is going to be one of our normal summons and our extenders. When it goes from the monster zone or hand to the graveyard, it's able to summon a Plunder Patrol from the deck and then lock you to Plunder Patrol special summons only. We use that as an extender in our combos, and sometimes we just normal summon that and pass. Golden Hair is what we use to be able to make sure that we can get a turn 1 Blackbeard consistently through the Almirage play, which is still the same as the previous video, but I'll be going in detail with more combos later on in this video. Redbeard is another one of our normal summons that sometimes we just normal summon Redbeard and have to pass because we don't have any other combo to make. Sometimes you're going to be normal summoning Redbeard, so that way you can go into Almirage, and then you're going to use new support like Black Eyes, so that way you can get Redbeard in hand and then still be able to make a Blackbeard and continue your plays, and then keep a name in hand and still be able to play the game better. Bluebeard is the same as last time. If we control our name, it's a level 4 extender. It's able to discard stuff that we add, so that way we can continue extending or making plays or drawing deeper into our deck. And then Black Eyes, the new card. So this card says if you have a Plunder Patrol in your graveyard, you can target it, special summon Black Eyes, and then add that Plunder Patrol name from your graveyard to your hand. It only adds monsters. Another one that kind of comes up usually when you have lists on the field, or if you go through Emblem, is that if this card is sent from the hand or monster zone to the graveyard, you can special summon one of your Plunder Patrol monsters in the spell and trap zone in defense. So you're not able to summon Blackbeard because it's a link monster, but you can summon Whitebeard or Redbeard and continue plays from there when you're in the grind game. We have 3 copies of Plunder Patrol Shipyard, plus a 4th through Terraforming. You could opt to run Mystic Mine if you wanted to, just so that way you technically have 2 copies of it. Shipyard's one of the best cards in the deck. It searches you whatever you need, and it gives you the passive attack boost, so that way you can get over bigger bodies. We're playing 1 each of Emblem and Shipshape. Emblem is just wonderful to search off of Shipyard or off of the fusion spell when it's in the graveyard, so that way we can get the attribute that we need on our field. Or it can just help in the mirror match if that ever comes up. It does give targeting protection, so that also helps in matchups like Phantom Knights, or if we're trying to play around anything that targets to negates. Phantom Knight's the best example because of Fogblade, because sometimes you're just going to normal summon Redbeard or Whitebeard and then put Emblem and pass. Going into Blackbeard doesn't really do much there. It gives you a draw, but like it's not the most effective play. Then we have Shipshape Shipping at 1. It's a great discard target. It can also help us search out more names if we need them to get them to the graveyard. So for example, if we have Redbeard and we have a way to discard Shipshape Shipping, then we would be able to use Shipshape Shipping to banish it and then equip Golden Hair to it. So that way we could get a Golden Hair in the graveyard without actually seeing Golden Hair in our opening hand. We can also do that to get Whitebeard in the graveyard if we want to be able to have Black Eyes recur it, so that way we can do additional plays. The utility this card offers is incredible at 1, but I wouldn't run it at more because it kind of does suck when you see it. It's high ceiling, low floor type of card. We're running 2 copies of Booty. Because I'm running Desires, I'm going to be running 2 just in the off chance that I banish the 1. We want Desires for the drawing, but we want Booty at least 1 because it helps us get the attribute we need. It recurs from our graveyard, it shuffles, and it special summons. It's an incredible card. The only downside is that if we don't control a Plunder Patrol monster, it gets sent to the graveyard in the end phase. For 3 one-ups, we're playing Terraforming, Called By, and Pot of Desires. I went over Desires and Terraforming, but we're running Called By just as a way to stop Ash Blossom, because we know that Ash Blossom can stop all of our plays. It helps stop Effect Veiler for turn 2 shenanigans. It helps just being a really good card that isn't hard once per turn anymore, but technically is. And then we're moving on to our hand traps. With the way that the deck currently is, we have room for 15 non-engine cards. In the budget build, I would just put in any types of hand traps that you have. Right now, I think Ash Blossom, Ghost Ogre, and Lancia are pretty good. Lancia really powerfully stops the Phantom Knight strategy. It stops any Brave Adventurer token strategies. It worked through Aquamancer, at least, or Water Enchantress of the Temple. Also works for some weird rogue matches. It helps for the Dragon Link matchup. It helps you if you're going to be hit with something like Evenly Matched, if you're playing against a blind second deck sometimes. For this format, I think early on it might be a good call to run it. Imperm is really good. It stops anything whenever you need to, going second. It can also be a great 6th card to draw if you're facing something like Phoenix Enforcer, because that just turns it off and then it's one less thing to worry about. You would be able to shuffle it or banish it with less worry at that point. I am running Adamancipator is in Dragite, but I don't have any rock targets. If you want, you can run Nibiru. I don't think it's that good in the format right now because Phantom Knight is probably the best deck in the format because it has the Aquamancer Brave Token Adventurer strategy in it, which effectively nullifies your Nibiru, and if you only open up Nibiru, then it's a dead card in hand that doesn't do anything. That's why I'm opting for Gamma. Gamma is one of the most powerful hand traps in the game, and going first, it can protect you for any of your searches. It can protect you when you're trying to use Golden Hair effects to extend in the hand if you're sending it from if you're using its in-hand effect, a special summon. It doesn't come up all the time on your turn to use it. It comes up frequently on the opponent's turn. It also gives you access to level 8 synchros, which is always great. It gives you free bodies to go into Blackbeard, which again is really great. The more bodies you can get on the field, the more names you can keep in hand, and the more you can play. That covers up the main deck. The side deck, you're going to have to tailor that to what suits your locals or what you want to play. It entirely depends. Plunder Patrol is a deck that can do well going first, going second. It's a strong deck when it gets the ball rolling, but the issue is you need to get that ball rolling. So now talking about the extra deck, we have 2 copies of Liz, 2 copies of Brand, 2 copies of Mork, 3 copies of Blackbeard, 1 Almirage, and then we have room for 5 non-engine cards. So let's talk about the engine cards first. I'm running 2 copies of List because it is a monster negate that negates the activation, so it's live effectively all the time. It's a Rhoda. It's able to summon monsters from our spell and trap zone. It's just a great extender to be able to do everything that we need. I might run it at 3 in the future in the format. It depends on how it shakes up. We have 2 copies of Bran, which is just wonderful because there is more back row in the format. Something we do need to keep on the lookout for is skill drain. Currently, the deck doesn't have an easy way to deal with skill drain besides setting an imperm in the column and then hoping you're able to have it last until your turn, so that way you can make a Brand and out it. You might want to consider running back row hate in the main deck just to support that. Just depends on what you expect to face. 2 copies of Moark. I might run 3. If I run 3 of this, I wouldn't run 3 lists. Moark is just an incredible card. Target banishes affect monsters. It's a quick effect when we need it. It also provides the protection effect, which is just wonderful because it protects not just monster cards, it protects all cards. So it's great when your opponent doesn't read the cards, goes to the battle phase, tries to beat over your cards, and is like, well, they didn't do anything. So absolutely wonderful card. It searches you spells and traps. If you're using it on your opponent's turn, you're going to be searching the field spell. If you're using it on your turn, you're going to be searching any combo piece that you can get. If you're able to resolve it on your opponent's turn and then your turn, I would usually go Shipyard on their turn and then Shipping on my turn, so that way I can just extend as much as I need to and get every single value play I can. 3 copies of Blackbeard. this is the best card in the deck after this card and this card. It's very powerful. Definitely recommend running 3. I would not recommend running any fewer. Then we have Almirage, which is just wonderful because it lets us be able to get the Blackbeard turn 1 very easily through a normal summon of Golden Hair on its own, or if you open up Black Eyes, then you can get to it through any of Redbeard or Bluebeard 2, as well as being able to dig through your deck further with Bluebeard. Then for our non-engine cards, I like running the Bahamut Shark Totally Awesome package. It does come up frequently where you're able to normal summon a name. Usually it's going to be Golden Hair or Redbeard, special summon Bluebeard from your hand, make Bahamut Shark, and then special summon Totally Awesome on your 5th summon. So that's going to protect you from Nibiru at least. It'll be able to just give you more protection overall. It's an Omni Negate. Also great is that sometimes you end up blowing up your hand and not having anything. You're able to actually use its negate effect, and then when it's in the graveyard, you can then add any Plunder Patrol monster from your graveyard to your hand, so that way you're able to get a name, keep your negates live, or interactions live, and still be able to use Totally Awesome as an Omni Negate without worrying about your hand. And then finally, our last 3 cards. Adamancipator Risen Dragite is great. Spell and Trap Negates are very valuable. They don't come up often in access to your deck, but being able to reach it pretty easily in Engine, being able to reach it pretty easily in your Engine through a normal summon and then a special summon of Bluebeard is just amazing utility. If you run Nibiru, then you also run the odds of being able to hit it on excavations going second. I like it. You don't have to run it. The same goes for the next card, White Aura Whale. This is purely a going second card. It's great against link strategies that don't have much protection, where again you just put out the levels for a level 8 synchro. You can destroy all of your opponent's attack position monsters. If you end up making it with Whitebeard and Bluebeard, that's wonderful because then you're able to chain block all of those effects and just blow up whatever you need to, or you can order your chains however you want if you want to keep White Aura Whale on the field and try and bait out a negate. And then finally, we have Geonator Transverser. I might change this for a Zeus. I think it might be a good idea. It just depends on what you're expecting to face. It's really cheesy when you're able to pull it off. If people aren't playing around your zones. Its utility increases when you have Nibiru in the main deck, because then you can summon that fat token wherever you want. You can make Geonator, and then you can just swap the token with one of your monsters. If you do it with a Whitebeard, you get a very nice floating effect when you pop it. And then that concludes the main deck and extra deck, as well as discussion on the side deck for the budget version of Alright, so this is the Brave token version of Plunder Patrol. It's significantly more expensive, but unfortunately it's also significantly better. There are some differences from the Plunder Patrol engine that we will see in this deck. We still run 3 of Black Eyes, Bluebeard, Golden Hair, and Whitebeard, but we've cut down Redbeard to 2, as well as 1 copy of Booty, so that way we can stay at 40. We don't need 3 copies of Redbeard with the strength that the Brave token engine provides, and we don't need a 2nd copy of Booty either, because we're able to access it much more consistently and regularly because of the protection that the Brave token engine provides. So the ratios stay the same for everything else in the Plunder Patrol main deck, and then coming to the engine of the Brave or the Adventurer token, we're running 3 copies of Water Enchantress, 3 copies of Rite of Aramasir, 3 copies of 1 copy of Fateful Adventure, Dracoback, and Wandering Griffin Rider. Water Enchantress of the Temple is one of the most powerful cards you could ask for in Plunder Patrol. It's such a free discard off of Shipyard that it gets you a free name, and then it gets you an Omni Negate to play with as well afterwards. It's just incredible. In the future, when new cards come out, such as Illegal Knight, you'd be able to summon this card to your opponent's field going second and give them an attribute, as well as just moving cards on the field off of it, so that way you're able to just play better. It's just an incredible utility, and unfortunately it's precluded by cost for most players, because I know that Plunder Patrol is a budget deck, hence why I'm doing this on dueling book and not in real life with real cards. We still keep one copy of Terraforming, but we've cut a copy of Called by the Grave. We have Foolish Burial in this deck because it acts as a 4th copy of Water Enchantress. It's very powerful. Again, just more ways we can access it, the better. I run 9 interaction cards in this deck. Forbidden Droplet, this deck is one of the best decks that can use Forbidden Droplet after maybe Phantom Knight. We will always want to be able to get cards into the graveyard so we can use their effects, whether that be Whitebeard or Golden Hair or Bluebeard, so that way we can just be able to use their effects to draw cards, special summon cards, get a name in the graveyard, so that way we can do more plays, or just so that way we can get Black Eyes to be live. It's just great synergy and utility. And then I have Imperm and Ash Blossom as the most generic cards that we can use going second or going first that work in basically any situation and are always strong. In the extra deck, we have the same thing as before for our first 10 cards leading up to Almirage, the same ratios. You can change them for what you want, for what you prefer more. As long as you keep 3 copies of Blackbeard, you're chilling. We still have the Bahamut Shark Totally Awesome package, which I think is the best supplementary engine that you can have in the extra deck for the deck. We have Zeus. Sometimes you're able to make Bahamut Shark attack, use its effect, then summon a Zeus over it, so that way you get Zeus and Toad before you go into any other plays and commit further. I'm still running Geonator Transverser in this deck. You can switch it for whatever other utility you like. I don't think the Access Code package is good. Not in this deck, maybe in Sky Striker, but this isn't Sky Striker, don't do it. We still have Adamantipator Dragite Risen, same reason why we're running it as before. So that concludes the Brave or Adventurer token version of Plunder Patrol. If you can afford it, I definitely recommend it. It's only going to get better. It might get banned in the future, though, because it's been banned in the OCG, but who knows. First, the 4 combos that I'm showing using Black Eyes and the Brave token stuff. So we're going to start off with Redbeard and Black Eyes. Going to normal summon Redbeard. We're going to link off into Almirage, and then we're going to use Black Eyes effect, so that way we can add back Redbeard to our hand, special summon Black Eyes to the field, then link off Almirage and Black Eyes to make 1 copy of Blackbeard. And that's an easy way that we get access to our engine, as well as keeping a name in hand so we can get draws. If you have 3 other cards in your hand and you have kind of a worse hand because you're normal summoning Redbeard, this is a play that you can always go for. Remember, you can search out Black Eyes if you need to. If you have anything, you can always search, or you can play around with what you've got based off of your hand. Up next, we have the Shipyard plus Whitebeard combo. We're going to start off by activating Shipyard, discarding Whitebeard as cost, so that way we can search. Searching out 1 copy of Black Eyes, and then in the next chain, we're going to be using Whitebeard's effect to special summon from the deck. We are going to special summon 1 copy of Golden Hair. This is going to ensure that we always have access to Golden Hair plays to keep our engine going. We are, however, locked to only Plunder Patrol cards, so this is just great for turn 3 and beyond. We're going to activate Black Eyes effect, targeting Whitebeard, so that will summon Black Eyes to the field and add Whitebeard to our hand, and then we can link those 2 off into a copy of Blackbeard. We still have our normal summon available to us, so if you had additional names in hand, you could summon Whitebeard, and then you could have 2 special summons on your opponent's turn for extra plays. It just depends on what else you have in hand. Sometimes you don't have extra cards in hand, so there's no point in normal summoning, because it's just better off to get the draw off Blackbeard, and know that you're going to be able to use Whitebeard's effect to special summon from the deck at least, because you're going to be resolving your extra deck ship. Of the Totally Awesome line, where you're able to access it not just through normal summon of Golden Hair, but now it's normal summon of anything plus access to Bluebeard and Black Eyes. It's going to begin with normal summoning Redbeard, special summoning Bluebeard just like last time. You're going to overlay them for Bahamut Shark. You're going to pay the cost, sending whatever you want to the graveyard, so that way you can summon Toad. Make sure you're being mindful with your zones here. You don't want to cover up the 1st, 3rd, and 5th zones all the time, so that way you can just special summon Link monsters wherever you need to, just in case for turn 3 and beyond. Once you summon Toad, then you're going to be using Black Eyes effect to special summon it and add Redbeard back to your hand from the graveyard. And then you're going to link up Totally Awesome, or you're going to link up Bahamut Shark and Black Eyes to make another copy of Blackbeard. So that way you then have access to Redbeard as a name in hand for whatever you need to special summon off of Blackbeard. You get the draw off of Blackbeard. You're going to have Toad negating and then adding back anything of these three. Normally, you're going to add Black Eyes. If you have another copy of Black Eyes in your hand, you'll go for Bluebeard. And it's just a great way to make sure that you keep your engine rolling and you keep being able to play the game. Enchantress Combo. If you have an additional Plunder Patrol name in hand, it makes it even better. You'll see based off the end board. It's very non-linear, very fluid how you decide to play this out. Because the rest of your hand is going to dictate what you're going to search off of your shipyard. So you're going to begin by activating shipyard, discarding Enchantress, so that way you can search whatever you need to. For this combo, I'm just going to search out one copy of Golden Hair to make it pretty simple. You can search out Whitebeard if your hand's not too good. I think Golden Hair is just is a good choice here because you're able to do the normal summon Golden Hair play while also getting an Omni Negate out of it and getting a bunch of cards out of your deck as well as free bodies and an Omni Negate. So once you search out Golden Hair, you're going to use the effect of Water Enchantress, so that way you can add one copy of Rite of Aramasir from your deck to your hand. And it's just the simple Aramasir play here for Brave Adventure. You're going to activate it, you're going to play Faithful Adventure from your deck, and then normal summon Golden Hair. When you normal summon Golden Hair, you're going to use the second effect of Faithful Adventure to be able to take one equip spell from your deck and then add it to your hand. You're going to add Draco back. Draco back is great going first or second. Going first, it's a free discard that can always keep a body on board or a card on board. Going second, it's a bounce for anything on the field. This is why Vishuda is so good in Sword Soul. Then after we add Draco back to our hand, we're going to use the first effect of Faithful Adventure to search out Wandering Griffin Rider, and then discard Draco back for what I just said, where we're going to send it to the graveyard and then get it back on the field to keep our card advantage. It's going to be equipped to the Brave token now. Then we're going to be activating Wandering Griffin Rider to special summon it. So now we have our Omni Negate on our third summon, and then we're going to go to the normal Golden Hair line. You can discard anything for Golden Hair here. It doesn't matter for this video. And then you're going to be ending on Blackbeard plus an Omni Negate, as well as maintaining your shipyard. You're going to have Draco back, which is going to bounce whatever you need to, as well as making sure that you're going to have protection from battle destruction through Fateful Adventure, making your board a bit more sticky. You have 3 other cards in your hand, or 2.5, or 2 depending on what you opened. And you can be able to make your plays from here. Assuming you opened up another name, then you would be able to go for Blackbeard, guarantee that you can get whatever you need to off of it the next turn, as well as having that 5th or 4th interaction card in your hand. And that concludes all of the combos that I have for this video. If you have any suggestions, any comments, please let me know. I enjoyed doing this. I will try to record games in the future of me playing on Dueling Book using both the Brave token or Adventurer token engine and the base engine. Because it's Dueling Book, I'm going to use the more expensive cards because they're free here. I'd also commentate over them if there's interest, just to go over what I thought I was doing, what I thought I did wrong, what I thought I did well, and how the game resolved overall. I really like playing Plunder Patrol. I think it's fun. It's very interactive. At most, you're going to get 1 negate, 2 negates if you have the Brave token package in there. So it's a great way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! You're fun with it. You're dealing with your opponent. You're not just trying to put up a board and say break it or lose the game. And there's a lot of back and forth with it. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please leave a comment.